Could say good afternoon, you could say good morning, but we got 15 minutes until it's afternoon time. I don't know. It's May 2nd, that's the time. That's the temp in the garage. Today we're going to start sanding down and prepping the dash. Take this apart, start laying it out on the 16 gauge and getting ready to cut that out. And yeah, that's where we're at. So when I get more or something of interest, I'll turn this back on later. Man, it seems fun taking apart stuff that you did, what, 8 years ago? Which is right here. Hold on for a minute. This air hose is driving me nuts. Hang on. Sorry about that. All the dimples or whatever, I pounded them back out. So did it on both sides. They were right in here. So next up we'll get the cutting wheel and cut this off to bring it back, because this I used to kick out for the old deck to bring it out to sit there and make it flush or perpendicular or square or whatever word you want to use. And I had to build this out, and the best way to do that was with a piece of, what, 1/2-inch square tubing, and I slid it and fit it right down upon it, and then it was able to give me the lip. But now we'll just take and slice it and cut it off, because I don't need it built out that much anymore. Next thing we'll do is we'll put in the mocked up panel, and sorry, the mocked up panel. Now this is on an angle. A mocked up panel, and get it in here and see where it comes down on the bottom, and then take a piece of 1/2-inch square tubing and weld it across here so it has something to sit on when we get ready. And yeah, so it'll be two pieces. It'll be this piece and then this piece. And so in the meantime, we'll clean up some of the wiring in the back, since I got this nice big hole to work through. There is a brace right in here, and I got to see if that's going to interfere with the new deck. And if so, then we'll have to cut this off. If not, I'd like to leave it and sit there and maybe mount the back of the rear deck to it. So, but that's where we're at. And we'll see if we could straighten this wiring mess up a little bit, and take care of a few other things. Get this cut off. Get this all down here ground to bare metal. And then we'll fit in and see where we need to put a crossbar in here. And get that welded in. Get the copper paddle out and start welding up some of these holes if I can. See how that's going to work out. And we'll go from there. A little bit at a time. Let's see, yesterday on my show I told Jimmy C that I would like to, by next weekend, have the deck in, wired up, and working. So we'll see. Hopefully we can do that. But it gives us all week, and I have everything here to do it, so we don't have to wait for material or nothing. I left this so I can have my center line. When I put this crossbar underneath here, I'll get my center line again so we can match up when we put the panel in. Again, this will be one piece going in, and then we'll weld it to here, then I'll ground this down and we'll weld it to here. Then we'll fill in these. And then we'll do the bottom. And that's where I'm at. So I hope everybody has a good Saturday. I'm done for the day. And we'll pick this up tomorrow. Later. Well, I cut up the 16 gauge. Never heard back from that company on the 18 gauge, so 16 will do. It's here, it fits in the basket at the top and the bottom. Not the straightest, but it'll do. I mean, by the time you get all the trim pieces on and everything else, you'll never know. So, I'm going to pull out the welder, tack these on, test fit it, see where I need to put the bottom brace on, and keep plugging away. Oh, it is Monday. What is it, Monday, May 4th? Yeah. So when I get more, I'll turn this back on later. Alright, got the welder out and tack these in. And I'm going to let it cool down for a little bit. And then we'll go try fitting it in the car, tack it in, and see where the bottom plate's got to go. So, when I get more, I'll turn this back on later. Alright, I tacked it in, and it's just tacked in. But I need to see the angle. So let's see what this says. Hold it. Okay. So roughly right about there is 90 degrees, alright. So it has to come out. So I wonder, what do we do down here? Yeah. So yeah. So I got to think on this for a little bit. I need to put a brace or something across the bottom here. Tie into here and then into here. But we can't take this. I mean, this got to come out a little. We can't take this and this has to come straight up because we need that also straight up and down. I'm holding off on slicing this right down here. Again, that's a half-inch square tubing that I slit down the middle and popped it on top of there so I could bring this panel out when I had the old stereo out, and it was almost to the edge of this, and that made it what, flush, square, whatever. But this is centered, and yeah, I think it'd be easier to fill the sides in than build the bottom. But I think I need to build something across here. Yeah, I'm going to take a couple of measurements and think some stuff out. So that's where we're at for today. We'll pick this up tomorrow. And I got to throw some measurements because there is this bracket back here too that I'm going to see if it's going to interfere with the radio. If not, then I'm going to, if so, I'm going to have to cut it out. But so I like that. Interesting. Yeah. Well, I'm going to leave it in here and take some measurements before I cut these welds off. And then we'll see what we're going to do. So when I get more, I'll turn this back on later. Hey tubers, good morning. It's what, Tuesday, May 5th. Ah, Cinco de Mayo. Okay. And that's back out. It's the time. I've been out here for a little bit. That's the temp. And we did find, we're going to use a piece of that flat steel right there. Yeah. And we're going to put that in. So, but first I got to do some stuff in the hole before I start blocking it back up. And then we'll start, we got to finish welding up this on here in the bottom, as well as on the top. And then clean it up. And then get ready to put it in. So, when I get more, I'll turn this back on later. We got the bottom bar welded in. So a little grinding there we'll need, and some grinding there we'll need. I decided to leave this in because this was what brought it out 90 degrees, so I can put this panel in at 90 degrees. So roughly right about in here will be where the open panel come, and then from here down I'll just put that in, make a small panel and fill there, and we should be able to get over to here. A few little holes there we'll weld up, but we'll leave this in the way it is. So now I'm going to go ahead and weld this up. We'll do this bottom first. We'll do it all on the inside, so I don't have to worry about grinding the welds down too much. And then we'll do the bottom first, and then we'll let it go, and then we'll do the top first. So when I get more, I'll turn this back on later. Hey guys, I guess it works better when you take the lens cap off, huh? Got it ground down in here where I welded before. This is the face, this is the top, this is the bottom. So this is what you'll see. So I did most of the welding on the back. And I started grinding this down, and I said, what the heck for? Nobody's going to see it. So I'm just going to leave it. So I think, yeah, I got to work on this a little bit more. Yeah, I got to work on this one a little bit more. What I do on these, on the welds, is I'll turn around and I'll take the cutoff wheel and use the edge and knock it down to where it's nice, and then I'll turn around and then use the sander with 36 grit on it, with a Rolex 36 grit. So yeah, this one's still a little proud, so we'll have to knock it down a little more. So when I get more, next thing will be is to weld this into the dash for the final time. And so when I get more, I'll turn it back on. But first we'll test the basket again, because as you weld this thing, it gets all warped and distorted, and I want to make sure the basket still slides in. So when I bring you back, we'll be welding this in the dash later. Alright, it's welded in. You can see I'm welding in here, trying to hide most of the welds as I can. Test fitted the basket and it fits. So basically what I need to do is start weld, let it cool, weld, let it cool, weld, let it cool, and that's probably what we're going to end up doing for a good while here. Then we'll start making the side pieces, get those welded in, then we'll make the bottom piece. So this is going to be fun. So when I get more, I'll turn it back on later. Evening, tubers. It's Tuesday night. I decided to tinker a little bit. Templates I made out of cardboard for the holes I got to patch. I need to make 4 of these, 2 of them this length, and about another 2 half that size. This will be for the bottom, this will be for the top. They're fairly close, so I figured I'd just make them the same, and then we'll sand them or grind them down to fit, and then weld them in. So this is what I got. Need to make 2 trace out 2 more of these, but we'll do this first. Cut these out, and then we'll start on the sides. Get it. Won't do any welding tonight. Don't like welding at night. I like welding during, you all remember back when we were welding on this car a lot. I like welding during the daytime, and I like stopping around 2 or 3 in the afternoon just in case there are any ambers or sparks or anything else. If it's going to start, it'll start while I'm awake, and we can catch it in the garage. But as you saw in the previous segment, that the faceplate is all welded in, and now we're just starting to trim it and cut it up. Hopefully I get this done tomorrow, we get it sanded and grind down tomorrow, and maybe get our first coat of body filler on it. So when I get more, I'll turn this back on later. Hey tubers, it's Wednesday. We're starting to fill holes. There's the first one right here. So Jimmy C wanted me to video while I was welding, and that'll screw up the camera. So I've seen on many videos before, so I'm not even going to try it. But I'll still bring you along where we got. Last night I cut out all the side pieces, and so we'll start fitting those in. But first we'll do the top, and then we'll work down the right side, then the left side, then we'll do the main, the bottom, and that's the goal for today. So when I get more, I'll turn this back on later. And yes, I did start the masking tape on fire, so, but we'll take care of that. We'll let that cool down. While it's cooling down, we'll measure up and cut this next one, and just keep coming down the line, and then get these 3, and then we'll start on this side. More in a minute. Well, the top's done, all 4 of those little holes. Man, that was a pain in the butt, but it's done. We'll grind it down and see if we got any more welding up to do, then we'll start on the sides. When I get more, I'll turn this back on later. Hey tubers, started grinding this top down. This panel indented a little bit, you can see it. So we'll have to fix that, probably just fill it full of weld. Yeah, so pretty much got it mostly ground down. There's a few other spots, got a couple holes to fill, a few other things. But it's going on 3 o'clock. Rule of the house is no welding after 3 because of the, you want to make sure all the ambers and stuff are out before I go to bed tonight. So we're going to call it quits today. Tomorrow's Thursday, we'll pick it up then. And hopefully we get the other 2 pieces in, and then we can start on the big piece on the bottom. So when I get more, no, scratch that. When tomorrow's another day. We'll see you tomorrow, later. Sorry guys, I did it again. I was just welding away, grinding away, everything else, and forgot I hadn't taken a video. So the side panels, I just did that one, so it's hot. And the inside one's done. Did some more grinding on the face here. Got a few more holes to plug up here. We got that hole there and that hole there. So we'll take care of that. And then we got the 2 pieces for the other side. So that's where we're at, and that's what we've been doing most of the morning. So when I get more, I'll turn it back on later. Alright, I got both sides welded in. And it's after 4. Or going on 4, and so no more welding. I've got some holes here and here I got to fill. Got these 2 holes here I got to fill, and then it started burning through over here. So we're going to get the grinder out and start cleaning it up and seeing where we're at and what we got to fill, and get the sander out and sit there and sand this down, because now we got to grind this here and get ready to do the bottom panel, which will screw in and out, because take it out, put the heater controls in it, and then be able to hook it up and then put it back in. So it's easier if it screws out. So we got to definitely clean this up and fix it up. and actually the panel can only be about as big as the stereo housing, maybe, I don't know. Still going to sort that out, but first we need to do some grinding on the stereo housing and then move on. So that's all for today. Live show tomorrow. And I want to thank everybody for watching, subscribing, and of course leaving comments. We'll pick this up on Saturday. Later, guys.